Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your number one online political channel. And at this hour, I want to talk about the conditions that Raila Amolo Odinga has issued to Kenya Kwanza government for the dialogue to start between the government, the Gen Zs, and the Kenyans in general. Because Raila Amolo Odinga actually accepted to join the government. And that is why he told the Gen Zs that William Samoei Ruto is going nowhere. Because if William Samoei Ruto was to go somewhere or leave presidency, then the country may fall under the people who cannot be able to manage the country, or it will fall under the military. But now Raila Amolo Odinga is issuing conditions to the government for the dialogue to start, and that has come to realization because Raila Amolo Odinga has been given a lot of pressure from the Gen Zs and also from the Azimio fraternity, because the Azimio fraternity actually don't want to join Kenya Kwanza government. And the likes of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Jeremiah Kihoni, Eugene Wamalwa, they have said that they cannot accept to do any kind of dialogue with President William Samoei Arap Ruto government. But Raila Amolo Odinga has actually boarded in, and he has said that for Kenya to be out of the crisis it is in because of the Gen Z's revolution, dialogue must be given a chance because Kenya is great than anybody. But Raila Amolo Odinga has issued various conditions, and among those conditions that Raila Amolo Odinga has issued to the government to meet for it to have dialogue with the Kenyans, the Gen Zs, the side of opposition, and all parties which are in this game. Because Raila Amolo Odinga has actually agreed that for us to have a conducive environment, the first thing which must be done is that justice must be served and must be done. And let me read for you those conditions that Raila Amolo Odinga has issued the government to be met so that at least we can have the dialogue. The first condition which Raila has said is about compensation of the victims of police brutality, and all related to protest should be, and all the protests who have actually been put in various prisons and jails, and even the cases related to the protest, they must be dismissed and the victim must be compensated. So that is one of the things that Raila Amolo Odinga is demanding. Another thing that Raila Amolo Odinga is demanding is the release of all those who have been abducted or imprisoned should be left free. And at the same time, the resolutions of issues raised by health workers and JSS teachers must be done. Another thing that Raila Amolo Odinga is actually demanding the government is the call of abandonment of the new social health insurance fund shift in favor of the previous NHIF. So Raila Amolo Odinga is also demanding that to be done so that we can have the dialogue. Another thing that Raila Amolo Odinga has demanded that prosecution of all security officers who committed crimes during protests, that they must be brought into book. And at the end, he has said that the dialogue must be conducted in a neutral venue. So those are a set of conditions that Raila Amolo Odinga has actually ordered the government to do for us to have the dialogue. And that is actually what I am going to talk about. And at the same time, Raila Amolo Odinga has said that for us to have the dialogue, there are things which must be discussed in that dialogue. And those things include the cost of living, eradication of tribalism, corruption, good governance, and the government debt. So those things must be in the conversation. That is what Raila Amolo Odinga actually demands to the government of Kenya Kwanza. And that is actually what I want us to have a candid discussion about. But before we dive in, I could request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like. Share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it is good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, share this video to all your friends. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always remember to smash the bell button. Because by smashing the bell button, you give YouTube permission so that it can notify you to watch any political content that we upload into YouTube. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to our YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. Now, let us go back and try to analyze about all those demands that Raila Amolo Odinga has actually demanded the government of Kenya Kwanza first to do so that at least they can pave way for the dialogue to be done. And I'm going to analyze one by one, and we will see whether those demands actually can be met by the government. And as we analyze, I will tell you this the government can do, or this one the government actually is going to do what? To reject it because of various reasons I will be giving. The first demand is about compensation, which must be provided to all victims of police brutality. So Raila Amolo Odinga is saying that there are people who have been injured. There are people in hospitals. There are people who are already dead. And those people must actually be compensated because it is the government which has caused that pressure. And for the people who are probably in the hospital, the government should offset all their bills. And for those ones who are gone, that means those who are dead, then compensations must be done. They must be given some money. But the government can weigh. And I'm very sure if it is for people who are in hospitals, the government actually can sway out the money or their bills. But when it comes to the issues of those ones who are gone, then it might bring something which is a bit difficult for the government to do compensation, because probably that is for the government to accept that this is the problem we did, we caused this, and therefore we need to compensate. And for the government to do that, I think it might be a bit problematic. Another thing which Raila Amolo Odinga has demanded is about the release of those ones who have been put in prisons, those cases which are still pending for hearing, they should be put off and or dismissed, and those people who are in prison, who have been abducted, those people should be released. And I think that is very easy for the government to do, because if it's people who have been abducted and they are in custody with the government, this is a easy thing for the government to do, because it can say we are releasing them so that we can actually have that conducive environment, so that we can have that dialogue. And another issue is about the call of abandonment of the new social health insurance fund shift in favor of the NHIF. And this condition that the government should abandon the new insurance scheme and go back to the previous one. This, I think, the government might abandon, but it might also be problematic, because it's as if telling Kenya Kwanza that those things you promised to the people of Kenya, you should abandon them completely. And this might appear that you want to fail Kenya Kwanza government. And if it is actually looked from that side, then you may find that the government of the day may refuse to abandon the new fund or insurance fund. That means shift in favor of the old insurance fund, which is NHIF. So that one is the government can weigh out. Probably it might go back to the old system, or it might say, this is what we promised Kenyans, and we are not going to abandon it. Then another thing is about the dialogue to be conducted in a neutral place. This one, the government also always will give in, because it does not have any issue. Even the government will actually want for the dialogue to be actually done in a neutral place. But about the compensation, I think it might bring that it might be problematic. But about the release of all those people who have been put in because of the protest and the dismissal of cases in court against the protesters, the government can easily do away with that. Even those ones who are in hospitals, the government can offset their bills. But the one for compensation, it might be problematic and the government might actually say no. I think that is one of the tough setup or demand for Raila Amolo Odinga to the government. Even the followers of Raila Amolo Odinga, the people like James Orengo, they have also said that for us to think about having dialogue with Kenya Kwanza regime, justice must be seen. People who have lost life must be compensated. That is what he said. And he said that if people are not going to be compensated, James Orengo as a person, he cannot actually accept to work with the government. And that is why Raila Amolo Odinga has put that demand, so that if those demands will be met, he's going to tell even his followers that this person has good faith. Let us go and have what? And have also that dialogue. And Raila Amolo Odinga is coming up with this demand. Remember, because he has been pressurized by the Gen Zs. So if some of or the majority of these demands will be met by Kenya Kwanza government, then Raila may even tell the Gen Zs that the demand that you told me they should be met, most of them, they have been met. And that means you need now to have a dialogue with the Kenya Kwanza government so that we can pave way to how we want our government to be managed. So that's how I look at this issue of the demand that Raila Amolo Odinga has actually issued to the government. And those demands, for me, I say purely they have come out because of the pressure by the Gen Zs and the followers within ODM and Kenya Kwanza. If they were not that pressure, I'm very sure then Raila Amolo Odinga could have not actually come up with this demand. He could have gone deep to the government, be given those 7 posts. He could have selected people and he could have given the government of the day that list. And by now we should be having what we call dialogue. I really don't know what's your tell about the demands that Raila Amolo Odinga is giving to Kenya Kwanza government. Are you with Raila Amolo Odinga that those demands must be fulfilled for the dialogue to be done? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time, please to pump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it is good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always remember to smash the bell button, because by doing that, you give YouTube an okay so that it can notify you whenever we upload any political content into YouTube. And for those ones who have actually already subscribed to our YouTube channel, I cannot forget to say thank you so much, because you are the people who are giving me the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly until we meet in our next political discussion. Goodbye.